boy, they had these feminists and these women livers coming up. They burning bras and marching in the street. And Gloria Steinem and all of them, they mad about something. I don't know what the hell he's mad at, but they was mad about wanting to be equal to men. ERA equals rights amendments, all that kind of stuff was going on. And I'm standing there watching this little boy, and I said, boy, that just don't even make no sense to me. What are they talking about? And my mama told me, oh, this is a bunch of fools. I don't know what they're talking about. But these women were involved in the civil rights movement. And this wasn't so much just about women becoming empowered. It was about the destruction of the family and then the family unit as we knew it. And when you destroy the family unit, you basically destroy a country. Can't survive without it. Everything in society is about the maintenance of the family. And for 6,000 years, it worked. Mother, father, children, grandparents. Worked fine. Then all of a sudden, a bunch of communists decided to come in and want to shake up America. How'd they do it? Well, they went in and got a bunch of ugly women. Most of them ugly women too, man. I'm just going to tell you. Who felt bad about being women. And got them all hyped up and telling them that, you ain't equal to men and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You want to work in the coal mine. You want to be a police officer. You want to be a soldier. You don't make nearly as much as a man. You want to be able to have as much sex with as many men as you want to and not get pregnant. You don't want to have to get married in order to have a family or you don't want no man to have to take care of all this kind of stuff. And these women, yeah, that's right. So they all went crazy and started wanting to use the law to make this happen. So what's the first thing they did? The first thing they did was they got hold to this government program called AFDC, Aids to Families with Dependent Children. And AFDC started out as a great program. It started out after World War II. We had a little over 200,000 soldiers that died in World War II. And most of these men were married. And so the families were left without the father. And the mothers needed help. AFDC was the same thing. So the 60s come. 1945, World War II is over. The 60s come, and you still got those billions of dollars in the system. But now this money is going not to women whose fathers have died in war, but to women who are just not married. And it starts a terrible trend in America where women are saying, oh, if I get pregnant, I don't have to get married anymore because I can get on these government programs and I don't have to worry about a man. Well, Patrick Moynihan wrote about that in the Moynihan Report and told Lyndon Johnson that he needed to change that and he needed to hook that money up to women getting married again to make sure that the black family, especially because we were definitely going down that road, that the black family would not be torn apart. LBJ said, let's do it. In his book, Bearing the Cross, David Garrett writes about this and said that when Moynihan took this to Martin Luther King Jr. and the civil rights community to sign off on it, the civil rights community went crazy on Moynihan, refused to do it. And the feminists in the movement said that instead of putting the man back in charge of the family, we want to use this money to put the woman in charge because we think that marriage is like slavery. They went to LBJ and said that if you do this, we're going to come against you. We're going to tear you down. We want this. And LBJ put the man in house clause in welfare. And it said that if the man was caught at home, the woman could get no money for welfare. And if she was not married, she'd get money. And for every child she had, she'd get more money. That's how it started. Went from 80% of the children being born to two-parent families in the black community to 80% being born out of wedlock. Then this thing bled into the white community, and now we got chaos. You have women trying to raise men. And I'm going to tell you something. It's a very, very rare occasion when they do that well. So it didn't take very long. We had a bunch of sissies, or we had a bunch of extremely violent young men walking the streets of America. They were one or the other. Because they did not have a man or a father in the house to temper these boys and raise them. No discipline in the house, chaos. The one thing that takes a man and settles him down and gets all the wildness out of him is when he has to take care of his children and take care of his home. And that was taken away from him. So what happens? All day in the streets, hip hop, getting 45 women pregnant. Everything went wild. And the whole structure started coming apart. These truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. What is a self-evident truth? A self-evident truth is a truth that I should have to explain to you. We all agree on. We teach our children these self-evident truths when we start teaching them to talk. And the child learns them quickly. So, baby, what is that? That's a dog, baby. That's a dog. That's a couch. That's a couch. That's television. That's television. And before long, the child gets it. We all agree on what these things are. Now, like Babel, Satan is coming into our midst, and he's taking all these self-evident truths away. And the language is contrary, and we're all confused, and God is not the author of confusion. Y'all in the streets now, you don't even want to say yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am to somebody because you don't know whether it's a man or a woman. You don't want to help nobody because you don't know whether you're helping a man or a woman. I don't want to give a grown man the type of respect and social cues that I give a woman. I treat women and men differently. And if I think that you're a woman and I'm treating you with the passiveness that I treat a lady, opening the door for you, putting out the chair for you, saying yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, tell you, then I come to find out you're a man, I'm going to have an attitude about that. I'm not going to appreciate that at all. I treat a man much differently than I treat a woman. And I'm supposed to. I stand when a woman enters a room. I take off my hat when I greet her. I shake her hand in a different way. I open the door and step back for her. I pull out the chair for her. I show deference to her. I speak to her differently. Ask Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. She's been walking around bragging, strutting around telling everybody she's the first black woman on the Supreme Court. Harvard graduate. She's probably one of the smartest women in the world. But she's a Democrat, which also means she's one of the stupidest. Simple question for Marsha Blackburn. You've been walking around bragging for the last 3-4 weeks, hollering about you, the first black woman on the Supreme Court. That's right. Tell me what a woman is. Ketanji said, I'm not a biologist. Ketanji Brown Jackson knows what a woman is. So what's going on here? You know what's going on here? The Democratic Party has been taken over by a group of perverts in the LGBTQ movement whose main goal is to destroy manhood in the United States of America. Because how can you take over the house unless you first bind the strong man? They know what they have to do. First, they got to destroy the man.